All right, guys, this is my first ever video. Today we have a Z32 that we'll be swapping the LS into. So this is basically any of you guys who want to put a LS into a Z32, this will basically be a step-by-step, what you need to do, what you need to remove, what you need to purchase, everything, beginning to end. So as of right now, we're in the process of removing the motor. You have to remove everything before you remove the motor. There's plenty of write-ups on removing the engine, so I'm not going to get too deep into the process of removing the engine. I labeled a couple of the connectors on the harness, just if we ever want to sell connectors, if we need any connectors, anything of, you know, that kind of sort. So I didn't get to record everything that I removed in the beginning, but just here's a little rundown of the things that's been removed. We have the clutch fan, the condenser fan, intake piping. We removed the MAF, intake, everything. So as I said, you're gonna see plenty of write-ups on how to remove a Z32 engine. This is step one. We're getting rid of the engine. You have to remove the drive shaft, everything. Now here's the engine. Currently it's cleaned up. Gonna slap the heads on once we're ready. Now you're gonna need a LS1 intake, or 7 or 6, but that changes your throttle body. If you're gonna go drive by cable, drive by wire, you have to know pretty much what you're gonna do. Now LOJ is a company that we've been purchasing everything we need for the swap, and when I say everything, literally everything. We got new dipstick, we got, this is a fuel pressure regulator / fuel filter, which swaps right in the same spot of your fuel filter. You can't really see it, but this is a new oil pan. You're gonna need an oil pan. You're gonna need a new oil pickup. These are the new mounts. Swap this direct drop-in. Basic, it's the most simplest swap kit ever. This is the old, so you see, as I said, this is the old dipstick. This is the old oil pickup. This is the pan. So all that is garbage. And basically where we're at right now, before we pull the motor out, we're having a little bit of clearance issues with the engine hoist. So the front bumper has to come off. To take the front bumper off, you do need to remove your corner lights. There's screws up here that you won't see. You come back here. There's gonna be screws in here. There's one right on the edge. Then there's a second one a little bit in. And then there's right here, there's more screws here. So we're gonna rip that out. And once we rip that out, as of right now, the drive shaft is disconnected, the exhaust is disconnected, fuel lines, harness, everything. Radiator. And we're gonna take the front bumper off, then we're gonna rip the motor out, and you're gonna see basically it's a direct drop-in. As far as harness, again, LOJ, which will be in the description, they sell a conversion harness, the ECU, everything, literally every single thing you need to drop that in there. But I'm just gonna give you guys a little, you know, the most basic. I'm gonna keep it as simple as possible, and let's just see how it goes. And I'm just gonna show you guys under the car. I mean, like I said, there's millions of write-ups, but I'm gonna just give you a little visual of what you have to remove under the vehicle. As I said, no drive shaft, no exhaust. You will disconnect your shift linkage from inside, and then you'll get rid of that. It's your tranny bracket right here for your transmission mount. You can see the harness hanging. I just disconnected the slave straight from the transmission. Do not press your clutch pedal once the slave is disconnected. You're asking for trouble. And that's pretty much everything. It's pretty simple under here. There's a shield that will be here that's not here currently. These are the bolts for the shield that was on. When you do go LS, these cars come with a 2-piece drive shaft. Definitely you have to go 1 piece, but then again, if you go on LOJ's website, you'll see that they'll tell you the exact dimensions that your 1 piece has to be. For any of you guys that has access to, you know, local drive shaft shops that will cut and balance your drive shaft for you, the 1 piece, the 2 piece you cannot run at all. You have to go 1 piece, and Z1 Motorsports sells a 1 piece, and then you could just get it cut. They give you the exact dimensions, and then you pretty much, you know, you just straight to your diff. You keep your diff, the LOJ conversion, you keep your transmission. This is a non-TT trans, obviously. It works with this trans. If you want to use the the 4L60, you can, but we're gonna just stick with the original OEM Z32 non-TT trans. If you have a TT, you could use the TT trans as well. It comes with a conversion plate, comes with a flywheel, and once you put on the flywheel, you can use a stock Z32 clutch, you can use aftermarket Z32 clutch, whatever. And that's pretty much it as far as the undercarriage. All right, this is pretty much a continuation. After we got the bumper off, you do have to take off the bumper support. It's gonna be 2, 4, 6. 6 bolts on each side, same thing, 2 looking up, 2 looking down, 2 facing at you. Now you have the clearance for your engine hoist to come all the way up to your radiator support, which will give you the ability to pick the motor up from the center. If you do keep your bumper on, maybe you have a big enough hoist and you can reach the center of the engine. Unfortunately, our hoist cannot, so we had to take the bumper off, and you have to take the bumper support off. And pretty much now you just pick your rigging points, disconnect your transmission mount bolts, disconnect 2 engine mount nuts. It's 1 on this side, 1 on this side. You get it from the bottom looking up, and that pretty much frees your motor. And you do have to drain your transmission because it will leak out if you do not drain the transmission. So take out your AC vent, take out your center console, take out the 1 bolt right here. As you can see, the shifter dropped as soon as I took it out. And that's pretty much it. It's at this point, it's just tranny mounts, engine mount, and she's ready to go. And don't forget, if you didn't drain your transmission, if you do, once you pick the engine up and tilt it back, it will drain out the drive shaft hole. So make sure you drain your transmission fluid or you will have a mess. And that's pretty much it. So basically, this is all you should have to take out. If you take out anything more than this, you're probably taking off the wrong stuff. It's 6 bolts for the transmission mount, and literally one nut, and that's your engine mounts. Now, I'm not sure about your Z32, but we didn't have any lifting lugs or anything of the sort. So we use this bolt right here, make sure it's tight. And we used this bolt right here from the coil pack. So we use one coil pack bolt. Usually it's the best to go in a diagonal or left, completely left, right, so you get a center pick. So we did this corner right here on the ignition coil, and right here on the back of the manifold, you can see there's a few bolts back here. We just picked this one, and that's pretty much where we're gonna go. All right, sorry for the wind, but motor out. This is basically what you should be left with. As far as the harness, you're gonna disconnect these two. These 3, 4 in the corner, you're gonna disconnect. Pretty much you'll have the entire harness right here. Obviously a couple little tie downs. This is the main part where the harness is coming from the ECU, from the interior. So once you disconnect all of these, you remove this, go on the other side, disconnect the ECU, blah, blah, blah. And you do not pull the harness with the motor. And then when you're done, it's pretty much what you should be left with. The only harness that stays on the car would be your battery harness. Right here, this is your positive and negative. And then down here, you have your oil pressure switch. And then these are for the transmission harness and a bunch of miscellaneous things. And then you would have these harness here for those 3 connectors in the front. And that basically, that your whole end motor's out. Like I said, do not forget to drain your transmission. It will make a mess. And as far as everything else stays. This stays. This stays. I labeled a couple things just so you know who's what's what. Power steering pump stays. You just disconnect it here. This is where I broke the AC line from. This is the easiest connection to break it from here. And then you break it from up top here. So that'll be one piece gone there. And now that the motor's out, now it's time to clean your bay, service your rack and pinion, anything. And that's pretty much it.